Hey everyone, it's Jayla. Welcome back to another video. Today, I'm just gonna be squealing like a little piggy over Black Sun by Rebecca Roanhorse because this book is amazing. This is not an unbiased review. Yes, I am not Rebecca Roanhorse. I am not her publisher. I'm not even one of her friends, even though if she would return one of my calls, that would be amazing. But I'm just simply so in love with this fantasy story. Rebecca Roanhorse's mind astounds me, and I would just love to get inside of it. The first clue that this book is so good is that the blurb is actually correct. I see blurbs all the time from some of my favorite authors who I respect, and they don't really mean that much to me. First of all, they have Kin Leo on this cover, they have his quote on this cover, and honestly, I'm a fake fan because I've only read one of his stories, but I read The Paper Menagerie by him, and he is awesome at what he does. He's awesome at crafting fantasy and sci-fi worlds, so I trust him wholeheartedly to tell me that something is good. And he said that Roanhorse is the epic voice of our continent and time, and he was right. She is. She's amazing. But then there's someone on the flap copy who I've never heard of, but they're Fran Wild, and they said, "You'll wish you had an infinite number of pages in which to explore this world," and they are absolutely correct, because that is absolutely how I feel after finishing this book. I was hoping that it would be 1,500 pages long because I just could not get enough of it. I wanted to be in this world forever. I love the characters. I want to protect all of them with my whole life. When this book ended, I was literally like, whoa, 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 wait, this can't be the end. We need another chapter at least. And unfortunately, it was the end. I was in the acknowledgments. There's kind of a lot happening in this story, so I'll try to be as succinct as possible. This is the first book in the Between the Earth and Sky trilogy, and it's based in a pre-Columbian Americas setting, so, we didn't have any white colonizers coming around and messing things up, and so it's one of those kinds of civilizations, and it also has celestial prophecies, political intrigue, and forbidden magic, so if that doesn't hook you in, I don't know what else to tell you, but it basically follows three characters. We have Zyla, or Ziala, who's one of my favorite characters. I personally say Ziala. I have no idea how you're supposed to say it. I feel like if it's supposed to have a Spanish, no, because they didn't colonize yet, so it wouldn't be a Spanish pronunciation. Never mind. I don't know how you would say it. I'm gonna go with Zyla so that people don't roast me in the comments, but personally I was saying Ziala the whole time. Zyla is an experienced sailor and captain, and she kind of ends up running into some trouble, and she strikes a deal with some guy. The deal is for Zyla to transport this mysterious stranger who is defined as harmless, but people who tend to be defined as harmless means that they're the exact opposite, and she's supposed to transport him from where they are to the city across the river, which is the holy city of Tova. She needs to get the stranger there by the time of the solar eclipse that's supposed to be happening, and she doesn't know why, she doesn't know who this person is or why it's important, but she just knows she needs to do the job or she kind of is screwed. We also follow the stranger's perspective, Serapio, and I won't go into too much about him because I don't want to get into spoilers. Then we have Narampa, who is the sun priestess living in the holy city, and she is someone who's trying to really make changes and be a really good sun priestess, but unfortunately a bunch of people just want her dead, and it's a hard life being the sun priestess. So these three characters are tied together with their different objectives that either get in each other's way or are needed to help each other, and it becomes this whole big tied together story that's so, so good. I absolutely fell in love with these characters. Serapio is just a little cinnamon roll, except that he's not. He's actually quite powerful, and you really don't want to mess with him. But I want to protect this man with my entire life and just keep him really close because he is my baby, and so many people in the world have just tried to hurt him. All of his chapters are just pain, but he's still so sweet at the end of it all. His part of the story is often told in flashbacks, but you get to learn so much about kind of the future from those flashbacks, so I wasn't even mad about it. Then we have Zyla. She is so funny. She's the best character. She's just so much fun to follow around. She's brave, sarcastic. She's queer, I forgot to mention, so we know that she is into women, she's into men. We don't know if there's anyone outside of the gender binary that she's into, but she doesn't seem to have any hindrances towards anybody. She could be pansexual, but as far as we know, she likes men and women. Even though it is said in the world building that this one town that she starts off in is homophobic and they're not okay with women sleeping with women, that's just not cool to them. It's not really, the story isn't about her hiding or anything like that, so I really loved that. It's she's out, she doesn't care. She will sleep with whoever she wants to sleep with. She's horny all the time, which just You do you, girl. Get what you want. Some other things about Zyla are that she's actually very mysterious. She tells a lot of stories, and you get a little bit about her background and where she's from, which is this kind of all-female island off the coast of the continent that they live on, and nobody knows a lot about it because no one's ever really allowed to go there. So I hope we learn more about what happened to her in the sequel. But what else can I say about her? She's like the best character. Then we have Narumpa, which I liked her. I think a lot of people don't like her, but I found her to be a really enjoyable character. Like I said before, she's just someone who's trying to change things, make the Priestess Society more effective. I didn't explain it before, but the city of Tova is run by, I think, 4 different priesthoods. So we have Narumpa, who is the Sun Priest, and that's the Order of Oracles. We have Ikten, who is the Priest of Knives, the Order of Knives. Abba, the Priest of Sakor, Order of Healing Society. Hassan, Priest of Records, Order of Historical Society, and it goes on and on. So those are the 4 kind of heads of the city of Tova. Narumpa, as the Sun Priest, has a lot of power, and she's trying to make the priesthoods a more united front because they tend to kind of do their own thing, and she wants people to take them more seriously, and so she's doing all this stuff that people just don't like. She was definitely my least favorite character of the 3 main characters, but I really enjoyed learning about her backstory, and I respected her goals even if they were a little ambitious. There is a 4th POV introduced in the middle of the book that I didn't love. Like, I didn't hate the perspective, I was just like, why did we do this in the middle of the book? We were good with our 3, so we'll talk about him later if he comes up, but he probably won't. I probably won't talk about that plotline at all, actually. Moving on, not only did I love, I'm going to fight this hair. Moving on, not only did I love the characters, but I loved the pacing. I was absolutely hooked from chapter 1 of this book. It starts off really intense, and then it just keeps going. Every character has a super interesting introduction into the story, and you're immediately invested in all of their storylines. I was honestly never bored reading this, and there was a point where they're kind of just on a ship for a lot of it, and I was like, okay, surely I'll get bored because they're going to be in one setting for the entire middle of the book, and it's going to be really just nothing's going to happen. But boy, was I wrong. I kind of wanted them to stay on the ship forever, honestly. I never wanted them to get off, because if they get off, that means other things. And other than that, I love the world building. As I said before, you've got these priesthoods, we've got these different cities on this continent. I won't go into all of it because I will surely butcher it, but it's a very intricate society, and it was super interesting how they mixed in the mythology, religions, and cultures into this beautiful world that's so vibrant and so fleshed out. And they were able to talk about class divides and just cultural differences and clashing and conflict in such a unique way. So yeah, all of that was really good. The final thing I wanted to talk about was just, again, normalization of queer identities, because this book does not only have like sapphic relationships and things like that, but there's even some non-binary or trans characters. We see characters who have ze/zer pronouns, and it was something I was just kind of taken aback by because I've never seen that in story form before, and especially that doesn't happen in fantasy. So that was just another really cool detail Rebecca Roanhorse decided to add into the story, and I respect a diverse, inclusive queen, so yeah. As you can see, I have nothing bad to say. I should start with the bad things. Okay. So the only 2 bad things I didn't love about this story were that there was a very abrupt ending, which I obviously won't go into because there's no spoilers here. But I was literally reading it, and we ended one of the POV's chapters, and I was like, ooh, I wonder what's going to happen to them in their next chapter of this book. And then we read a different POV, and then I expect us to go back to the other POV, and then we don't. And it's just a weird place for that character's POV to have stopped, like, until the next book. So I'm like, no, like, I turned the page and I was in the acknowledgements, and I was like, no, I didn't want this, we need to go back, we need to go back. So I think that we could have lengthened the ending a little bit, which I never say, by the way. I never say this book should have been longer. I always say this book dragged out and it could have been 100 pages shorter, or maybe 15 pages shorter. So the fact that I wanted more pages just shows you how good this book is. And then the other thing that I didn't love was simply the introduction of that new character midway through the book, because we were doing good with our 3, and I was keeping track of everybody. And while it wasn't hard to adjust to this new character, and he didn't show up super a bunch, I was still like, I don't care about you, I want to go back to the other people. So his storyline was interesting, but I was invested in my other characters already, and I didn't want any new changes. So those are my only issues with the book. They're very small, and I still gave this book 5 stars, so you should go read it. I would love to go into spoilers at this point and just talk about all the most epic, amazing parts of this book, but I will literally make no sense. I will sound so dumb just trying to spew out words, so I'm not even gonna bother, but I hope you enjoyed this review. I really hope that you will go read this book after hearing my thoughts. I'm kind of obsessed with Rebecca Roanhorse now. I've already went and bought her other series. I think it was called the Six World series, and it's Trail of Lightning and Storm of Locusts, I think is the second one. So I'm gonna read those soon. I'll probably do a review for those as well. If you've read this, I would love to talk to you in the comments about it. Make sure you include spoilers if you have any that you want to discuss. Make sure you leave a little warning for the other people. But I really want to talk about this book. I love this book so much, and it's one of my favorite reads of 2021 already. Probably one of my favorite reads ever. Definitely going to revisit it in the future. So yeah, feel free to leave a comment. If you enjoyed this video, please like it. Give me a little thumbs up down there. You can subscribe to my channel if you enjoyed this and want to see more of my face right here. And I will see you soon in another video when I have something to say. So, bye!